Good morning, children. We have completed lesson number 10 in our previous class. So today we will read lesson number 11. And this is the last lesson of your first term in history. And the name of the lesson is The First War of Independence. First War of Independence was fought in which year? 1857. While teaching another previous lessons, so many times I have told you, I have discussed about First War of Independence, and this war was very important in Indian history. So today in this class we will read about this. The revolt of 1857 was the landmark. This First War of Independence is very important in Indian history, and it was the landmark in the history of India's struggle for freedom. It started on which date it was started? May 10. It was started on May 10, 1857. This First War of Independence was started on May 10, 1857 with the mutiny of soldiers. Soldiers started it, and mutiny means revolt. And where it was started first of all? In Meerut cantonment. In Meerut cantonment. In Kant area, it was started by the soldiers on May 10, 1857. The revolutionary soldiers, the soldiers who started this revolt on May 10, 1857 at Meerut cantonment, they marched towards Delhi. From Meerut, they marched towards Delhi. And on which date? On May 11. May 11, 1857. Delhi was a mute witness to a band of sepoys who crossed over the river Yamuna. You must be knowing Yamuna river flows in Delhi. So the soldiers from Meerut, they started coming down to Delhi by crossing the river Yamuna and entered the Red Fort. Red Fort, you must be knowing where it is. In Delhi, Red Fort. They appealed to the aged Mughal emperor. Who was the Mughal emperor in Delhi? Last Mughal emperor. Bahadur Shah Jafar II. Bahadur Shah Jafar was an aged Mughal emperor. They appealed, these revolutionary soldiers appealed to Bahadur Shah Jafar to take over the leadership of the revolt. Means the revolt of First War of Independence. Who was the leader of this revolt? Bahadur Shah Jafar II. And he was an emperor without any authority to take over the leadership of the revolt, and he was proclaimed, Bahadur Shah Jafar II was proclaimed as Shahan-Shah-e Hindustan. Shahan-Shah-e Hindustan. The soldiers, the revolutionary soldiers, they started the revolt at Meerut cantonment on May 10, 1857. Then they moved towards Delhi on May 11, 1857. They went to Red Fort. There they declared Bahadur Shah Jafar II as their leader of this revolt. And Bahadur Shah Jafar II was declared as Shahan-Shah-e Hindustan. The sepoys means soldiers. That's why this revolt is also known as sepoys. Sepoys means soldier, and this revolt was started by the soldiers. That's why this revolt is also known as Sepoy Mutiny. The sepoys captured the city of Delhi. They killed many Englishmen and ransacked many public offices. Then Ransacked means searched thoroughly. Many public offices, they searched it. Then, though the revolt was started by the Indian soldiers in the service of the East India Company, the soldiers who started this revolt, they were the soldier in East India Company. But this revolt was supported by all the sections of the society. It soon spread to different parts of the country. It was started at Meerut, but it soon spread to different parts of the country and different sections of the societies. Like sepoys started it, then peasants also joined. In the previous lesson, we have read that farmers, due to their agricultural policies, peasants were suffering, so they also joined. Then the artisans, they also joined. Then soldiers were joining, educated Indians, and many Indian rulers also joined this revolt and to fight heroically, like hero, against the foreign rule. These soldiers, these peasants, these artisans, then the educated Indians and many Indian rulers, they all joined this revolt and fight like a hero against the foreign rule. Hindus and Muslims also came together to oppose the foreign domination. Means Hindu and Muslim soldiers also came together in this revolt. And the event was also called the uprising. There were many names of this revolt. One was the uprising. Then next was revolt of 1857. Then one, as I have told you, Sepoy Mutiny. These were the different names of this revolt: the uprising, revolt of 1857, Sepoy Mutiny. But this war, our Indian historians call it the first war of independence. Because why do the Indian soldiers call it first war of independence? Because it was the first time that different sections of Indian societies, in the previous lessons we have read, farmers also revolted against the Britishers, tribals also revolted against the Britishers, but it was the first time that the different sections of Indian society, like sepoys, peasants, artisans, then Hindus and Muslims, then educated Indians, then soldiers, they all joined, united and joined together, and they fought as one nation to throw off the shackles of foreign domination. Means now all the sections of the society, they wanted to throw this foreign domination. Ever since the British had set foot on Indian soil, the nation was losing its wealth and independence. Why? Because Britishers were exploiting us, and their main aim was to gain maximum profits. The aim of the British was to exploit the resources of our country. That's why they committed atrocities on the tribals also, on the farmers also, on the general public also. From 1757, which battle was fought in 1757? You must be remembering 1757, Battle of Plassey. From 1757 onwards, they won almost every battle against the Indian rulers. In the previous lesson also, we have seen that the farmers also revolted, tribals also revolted, but these all the revolts were suppressed by the Britishers because they were very powerful. And they won almost every battle against the Indian rulers and kept on expanding the areas under their control. They were continuously expanding the areas under their control. They sent Indian wealth back home to England. There was a drain of Indian wealth. Where? To England. And this angered the Indians. Indians became very unhappy, very angry. Why? Because Britishers were draining Indian wealth to England. Finally, 100 years later, in 1757, Battle of Plassey was fought, and after 100 years, in 1857, a number of Indians revolted against the exploitation, and that revolt is only known as Sepoy Mutiny, Revolt of 1857, the Uprising, and the First War of Independence. Now we will read about the causes of the revolt. There were many causes of this revolt. One by one we will read about all the causes. First of all, we will read about political causes. Political means you must be knowing related to administration. In political causes, first cause we will read about political. The revolt was the outcome of the widespread resentment that had been boiling against the British for a long time. This revolt was not a result of any single activity of the Britishers or after any single day's incident, but a resentment was there in the Indians, and that was boiling. That resentment had been boiling against the British for a long time. The Indian sepoys means soldiers. The Indian soldiers were dissatisfied. They were not happy with the treatment meted out to them. What was the treatment with the Indian soldiers? They were not happy. The Indian rulers, that time who were the rulers? Bahadur Shah Jafar. In political cause we will see about various Indian rulers also. Bahadur Shah Jafar. Then Tatya Tope. These were the famous rulers of this revolt. Tatya Tope of Gwalior. Then Rani Lakshmi Bai. Rani Lakshmi Bai of Jhansi, and then Nana Sahib. Nana Sahib of Kanpur had personal scores, means their personal reason was there to settle with the British. That's why they supported. They led the revolt in their respective territories. Like Bahadur Shah Jafar was declared as the leader of this revolt. Tatya Tope revolted at which place? Gwalior. Rani Lakshmi Bai at which place? Jhansi. Then Nana Sahib at which place? Kanpur. The common people of Delhi, Lucknow, here Bahadur Shah Jafar was in Delhi. The common people of Delhi, Lucknow, Gwalior and other places had no narrow ambitions of power or money. Means these rulers, although they were wanting their own power or territory, but the common people had no narrow ambitions of power or money. They wanted an end of the foreign exploitation, and that's why they supported in this revolt. In political causes, many policies what Britishers introduced, and that's why the rulers were unhappy. One policy was doctrine of lapse. Doctrine of lapse. This policy was introduced by the Britishers, and this policy was related to annexation. Annexation means joining of the territory, and this policy was introduced by whom? Dalhousie. Lord Dalhousie introduced this policy. It created fear and resentment among Indian rulers, because according to this policy, if any Indian ruler dies without leaving his own natural heir, then his or her territory was to be annexed with the British territory, and that's why it created fear and resentment among Indian rulers. They were not allowed to adopt anyone for throne. And this policy ensured that those kingdoms where the kings did not have natural heirs means their own son or daughter. If the king did not have their own sons or daughter, then their territory would be taken over by the British after the demise of the king. After the death of the king, their territory will be annexed by the Britishers. They were not allowed to adopt son or daughter. And it is believed that if the British would have not snapped the compensation the kings were paid earlier in return of a share in government, the kings would not have joined the revolt. Means kings joined the revolt. Why? Because the Britishers, they took the compensation also. Earlier the kings were given compensation, but the Britishers took that compensation also. They snapped it, and that's why the rulers joined against the Britishers in this revolt. Then the British signed many treaties, many agreements with the kings and nawabs. They signed many agreements, but at the same time they violated also as per their own convenience. And one such treaty was signed with Awadh, was subsidiary alliance. In the previous lesson I have told you, subsidiary alliance. In which year this treaty was signed? 1801. Britishers made various treaties or agreement with the Indian rulers, but as per their own convenience they violated also it. One such treaty was signed with Awadh. A subsidiary alliance was signed with whom? Which state? Awadh. The Nawab Wajid Ali Shah, according to this treaty, the Nawab Wajid Ali Shah was compelled to accept the permanent British army within the territory. Means one British resident was to be kept and for the protection of the territory, and they had to pay a subsidy for its maintenance. Subsidy they were giving to the Britishers, but the main intention of the Britishers was to keep an eye on the Indian rulers. He could not recruit any other European in his service without prior approval. He had to station a resident. Wajid Ali Shah had to station a resident in his court, which reduced the power of the Nawab, because that resident was Britisher and he was doing spy. His main work was to inform the Britishers about the activities of the Nawab. And gradually the Indians lost all trust in British, as Britishers were violating this treaty or agreement, whatever they did, and that's why the Indians, the rulers, they lost all trust in the British. Awadh had been an ally of the East India Company for nearly a century. Still it was annexed on the plea. Means Awadh was with the Britishers, means it was helping the Britishers, but then also Britishers joined Awadh. On which plea? On plea that the government was not functioning properly, but it was only a simple excuse to annex Awadh. The Nawab was exiled to Calcutta. Exiled means it is a type of punishment in which someone is sent out of his own kingdom. So Awadh, Nawab Wajid Ali Shah, he was exiled to Calcutta because his kingdom Awadh was annexed by the Britishers, and Begum Hazrat Mahal took over the reign of Awadh. This shocked the other rulers. After exiling Wajid Ali Shah, Begum Hazrat Mahal took over the reign of Awadh, and it was shocked. Many other rulers were shocked. Lord Dalhousie, who introduced which policy? Doctrine of lapse. Lord Dalhousie was appointed Governor General of India in 1848. He was appointed Governor General of India in 1848. Governor General he was appointed, and the 8 years of his rule are considered the greatest period for the expansion of British power in India. Means he was a greatest annexionist. Annexionist means, annex means what? Joined. He joined Indian kingdoms into British territory. So he was very beneficial for the Britishers, and in his 8 years of rule, it was the greatest period for the expansion of British power in India. So this was the very first cause, political cause. Now second cause we will see, that is economic cause. Economic causes. Economic means, you must be knowing, economic means what? Related to money matter. The policy of economic exploitation, as we all know, the Britishers' main intention was to gain more and more profit. The policy of economic exploitation and the destruction of the traditional Indian economic structure by the British caused widespread resentment among Indians. Britishers were exploiting us economically, and they destroyed our traditional Indian economic structure that we have already read in our previous lesson. And because of this, there was angriness, resentment, unhappiness among Indians. The Jamindari system. In the previous lesson, we have read about various land revenue system. Jamindari system exploited the peasants who were forced to grow only those crops that the British industries required. I have told you that Britishers forced our farmers to grow cash crops. Cash crops was to be used as a raw material to feed British industries. And they were tortured. The Indian farmers were tortured or jailed on failure to pay the revenue in time. Revenue was also very high, and if they were failed to pay the revenue because sometimes floods, sometimes famine, sometimes drought, because of various reasons crops were not there in the field, and then also farmers had to pay heavy revenues, heavy taxes to the Britishers. And if they are unable to do so, then they were tortured and they were exploited by the Britishers. Industrial goods like textile from Britain flooded the Indian market. Means they took raw material cotton. At that time, British cotton textile industries were developing in Britain, and for textile industries, cotton is the raw material. India was the leading producer of cotton. So they took all the raw material cotton from our country, and then they flooded our market with their machine made goods. So as a result, India, which was the leading exporter of cotton, became the largest importer of cotton textiles. Exporter means India was sending cotton, maximum cotton. Importer means India was taking it from other countries. And this industrial goods like textile from Britain flooded the Indian market. This destroyed Indian industries and made the Indian artisans and peasants unemployed. Whenever the princely states were annexed, princely states means the states which were ruled by the small kings or Raja, the British got rent-free land and huge amount of money. They were joining princely states, and then land also as well as money also they were getting. The common people faced unemployment and poverty. Because of this Britishers' policy, unemployment was there, poverty was there. When Awadh was occupied by the British, Nawab's officials were dismissed and his army was disbanded, and about 60,000 professional soldiers lost their livelihood when Awadh was annexed by the Britishers. So it was the economic cause of the 1857 revolt. There were many other causes that we will read in our next class. For today, this much only. and your homework is to read lesson number 11. Today no written homework I am giving, only you have to read lesson number 11 properly, so that whenever I will teach you, you can understand it very easily and nicely. So that's all for today. Goodbye and thank you.